Wait, I was making the wrong. How was I making things switch? Oh shit! I think I shit. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, I see. I wasn't making the pot for some reason. Oh, I see. I already have 4 out. Okay. Nice. Finally. Finally, one with a level 3 buff. Basically, I want to have 9 of each of the adventurer boos. 9 of the ones that get dispatched that have max buffs. I have more than half of each of the 3 types with max buffs, but and the other ones have 2. So you can have between 1, 2, and 3 buffs. So like this one only has 2. 2 is the bare minimum I have. So like this one has only 4 out of 9 only have 2 buffs. The rest are 3. For this one, 2 out of 9 have 2 buffs. For this, oh wow, this one's almost done. I'm going to recycle one of the 2 buff ones and level the one I just got. So now I'll have a. So yeah, this one is almost done. And so one more of these, and then one more these ones. I'll be maxed out for him, and I'll only be looking for shark boos and rocket boos.
私は火力。やっほー、君のシードだよ。君の匂い似とる。火力。アンビナンバー05。私はオーボロスの目です。ビーチにお散歩でもいかが？弱点が丸見えでしてよ。舞踏会へようこそ。アリスにさ波しぶきがザッパー。ファイトどうせならまとめてかかってきては。退屈もいいとこです。お手合わせ願う。やっ波のリズムを感じて。ほほん、ごめん遊ばせ。
This one's really annoying because it also has immunity phases.
退屈もいいとこです。構え、完璧なシンメトリー。逃がさないのだわ。波のリズムを感じて。ほほん、ごめん遊ばせ。やっ
Yeah, they just jump and stuff, which makes them invulnerable while they're mid-jump, and makes it, or at least not easily targetable. So it's just like makes it really fucking annoying to fight them. One, they do seem tankier than the other guy. Now, it could be a resistance thing. It could be they just resist physical, which is unfortunate because she's physical. But the fact that they have the annoying to target phases.
イブジなしはバイバイ。パエトーさんのために。どうせならまとめてかかってきては。構え。潮干狩りにでも来た気分。と、波のリズムを感じて。今のはボワン。みんなの期待が何かお困りで上悪君が命令をそう指揮しろ配置につきました。アンビナンバー05。
Oh, okay. So it looks like the double bonus for drives are gone. Okay, well then I'll just so just want to make sure I didn't miss out on the double bonus. I often forget them. But let's start quest 3. Now, quest 2 seems very conclusive, right? Seed was told that, well, Flora was told that Seed was dead. You know, she kind of rampaged a bit, and we helped her get over it. But, like, that seemed like the end, right? Like, so it seems unlikely there's going to be... So I thought that was kind of it. So I'm thinking this might be just an epilogue quest, where it's like, oh, you know, it's Flora going to be talking with the rest of the Oball squad, and maybe doing, like, a memorial for Seed or something like that, perhaps. Well, no, like, she wasn't a time bomb. Seed was the time bomb, and you decided to not defuse it, right? Like, Seed was always a time bomb. That was the whole, like, quite literally, right? Because, like, we were told, yeah, Seed, when her emotions run high, she causes these issues. And it's like, so rather than help her, you know, calmly discuss her emotions in a way that, you know, won't cause issues. You decide, you know what? Let's let future us handle that. Let's live. Because, like, obviously, this is, like, going to be the biggest emotional hit she's going to experience, right? In fact, her foster father being dead. And you're just like, yeah, rather than, like, try to diffuse this in a calm, reasonable way, let's just pass the buck along. Hopefully no one will mention it, you know? And, oh, wow, what a shocker, someone mentioned it. Yes, the damage she's done to Seed. Yes, the damage you allowed to happen because you didn't fucking tell her the truth ages ago. You should have told her the truth. The only reason she did this much damage to Seed is because you fucking hid the truth from her, so it hit her like a ton of bricks because she was in no way prepared for it. So because you kept trying to hide the truth, when the truth finally hit, it hit harder than it would have. Yeah, no shit. Maybe we were wrong for starting. Yeah. Could have told you that. Duh. I bet it's gonna be. Oh wait, is the picture different?
シードをこのまま放っておけないよ。
Yeah, the picture is all dark. Oh, the picture is all dark and gloomy because Seed's not in it. So before it was all like bright and shit. It was like her and Seed. They changed the picture. Okay, that's interesting. Oh goddamn! Was the right thing? Fuck.
こんなに長文。一体どういうこと？本当にビッグシードの鬼火隊長とトリガーによれば、ビッグシードの
Yeah, and that's the thing. Mages and Trigger always said that no one should be able to access it, and they said that his phone, which is weird that he have a phone, like he's a robot. He wouldn't build that function into him, but his phone was not even touched. So that was always the biggest and weirdest thing, is that Seed Senior was supposedly leaving her messages. You know, Knock Knock is, I guess, is text messages essentially. Seed was giving her text messages, and Magus and the rest of the Oval Squad had no clue who was doing it. And you're just like, what? You're not going to investigate that at all? Like, that seems pretty fucking important. And that's why I said, like, their lie was incredibly stupid, because there was this huge unknown variable in who was sending her these text messages. You know, like, trying to... Because the point is that if you don't know who's saying these, and she thinks that they're from Seed, then the messages themselves might reveal your own lie. Like, whatever lie you try to give, you might be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be... Seed's gone away, he's on a super secret mission. If the next Knock Knock message is saying, hey Flora, it's nice that I don't have any missions lately, I can just kind of relax, you know? Obviously that would throw your lie in. Like, that's why, I mean, generally you shouldn't lie anyway, because if you lie once, like any questions that come up, you have to add on lies, then you have to remember your lies. Like, okay, what did I lie? Like, how did I lie? And what were the answers for that? Because if it's true, you can just remember, right? You can just be like, yes, I'll just remember the event that happened, and I'll just tell the truth about what the event. When it comes to lies, I mean, it still has to do with memory, but you're not remembering an event, but you're just having to remember what you said and lied about, which, you know, you could have missed some details, because if you don't remember literally everything you said, each lie and each cover-up could be slightly different, which could then introduce its own inconsistencies between themselves.
違いなく彼のアカウントだよ。軍のノックノックアカウントをハッキングする不届き者。違う。じゃあ私もってことは正解。
Is it Veronica?
先生、お元気そうだね。
Seriously, what the fuck is up with this fucking world? So basically, hey, Veronica, you know, the person who committed fucking treason, the person who should be court-martialed, like, for what she did, she said she went and admitted everything she did, so how the fuck are you still out? Like, how the fuck would the military have let you go? You know? You should be in jail. What you did is a court-martialable offense. You should have been court-martialed and then thrown in jail. It's like, how the fuck did you get out? Also, it's the same thing for the Hollow Raid, right? We catch him doing illegal, like, he's not even supposed to be in the Hollow, so we catch him. He admits to doing it repeatedly. And then he's still not in prison when we look for him later. It's like, what? We caught you in the Hollow. Like, that is illegal. You should be in jail. At the very least, now, you know? We just caught you. Like, I'm fine, sure, like, he goes in jail for 30 days, whatever, right? You know, I could see something like that. Oh, well, he didn't commit a super bad offense, so he's just in jail for 30 days. But, like, no, we look for him immediately afterwards, and he's out. It's like, what? That makes no fucking sense. You committed a crime. How are you not in jail for that? Even if it is, like, a slap on the wrist, you know, sentence, it should have been for a long time. Or it should have been, you should at least be in jail at this point. I didn't expect you to be here, yes. I expected you to be in prison. Yeah. I turned myself into midday. Before leaving, I was granted an outside visit. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'd understand if it was, like, not this. Like, if it was political in some sort of way, but it's like, dude, it's the military. You're saying the military is going to be nice? And to be like, oh, accommodating? You steal military equipment? Because basically that's what she did. She stole military equipment, got it destroyed in the Hollow, and so it's unrecoverable. Like, she cost the military millions of dollars in broken equipment that could have been refurbished, and you're going to say the military is going to be like, oh, well, okay, you turned yourself in, so we'll give you one visit. It's like, no, fuck no. They're the military. Damn, I chose the right thing. I was thinking it was the picture that was going to be the... I was thinking it was the picture that was going to trigger her. So I chose the box. But the box was the actual trigger. God damn it.
ありがとう。私はあなたに感謝。あなたは私を覆っていたものを剥ぎ取り、私が大切にしていても、それより辛かったのは、友人たちが目の前で完全に破壊された時。
Well, what's also stupid, right? My friends were gone. I couldn't keep hating you. It's like, sure, you could blame Seed or you could blame Flora for what happened to Seed. Sure, right? You could. Now, obviously, it's not Seed's fault. She was a fucking child at the time. Seed was the one who chose to do it, and the Iron Order was really the thing that's at fault. And you already are mad at the Iron Order. You're already saying, yeah, the Iron Order is fucking inhumane. Like, you're enslaving intelligent beings that should have human rights according to law. So that's what she's actually, pissed at. But because it's the military who did it, she can't be pissed at the military because the military is just too big a thing. She looks for other people she can blame. But, like, blaming the victim, that is Flora, who was, like, 5 or 6 at the time? Like, are you fucking kidding me? But also, you know what's also incredibly stupid about the sentence? My friends. Plural. Multiple friends. Okay. Multiple friends. But only Seed was the one who broke his logic core for Flora. So how are you blaming Seed for what happened to all of your friends, right? Unless you're trying to say that her destroying them in the Hollow just now. But it's like, what? Like, they were already fucked up. They were already pretty much destroyed. They were already scrapped. You thought you could help them, sure. And she ruined that possibility for you. But, like, at the end of the day, they were already scrapped. And it couldn't possibly have been Flora's fault to begin with. So it's like, it's so stupid, right? And this happens in also. I mean, it's stupid, but I'm not saying like it's bad writing. It's just stupid because humans are stupid, and this happens in lots of writing, like where where the actual perpetrator for something is something you can't blame because you're too weak to handle. Like, it's like the government. The government fucks you over. It's like, what do you as an individual do against the government? Well, you don't do anything. So rather than blame the government, some people will blame other people, right? So like, let's say taxes are super high. Rather than blame like the nobles, like in feudal times, right? Like, let's say it's a time when taxes were collected manually. So rather than blame the nobles for the high taxes, you might be antagonistic towards the tax collector, right? The tax collector who shows up just doing his job, it's not his fault. He didn't set the taxes, but you might be, you might spit at him or call him names and shit because you can't do that against a noble or else you get punished. So it's just what people do is that rather than blame the actual cause of something, if they feel like they can't blame it because either they wouldn't because they couldn't like fight against it, because you see this oftentimes in like superhero stories and stuff like that where evil villain is like it happens in Spider-Man a lot, right? So evil villain fights Spider-Man beats the evil villain, but it causes damage, and like J. Jonah Jameson blames Spider-Man, right? That's what he just does. He's like, oh yes, it's Spider-Man's fault. If Spider-Man wasn't there, this building would have been destroyed. It's like, what? No, it's the evil villain. It's the Green Goblin. It's Electro. It's these people. It's the people actually doing the destruction that caused the destruction. But Spider-Man is a punching bag for JJ because he knows that Spider-Man won't fight back, and there's going to be no repercussions. Whereas if he insults the Green Goblin might show up and fuck him up. So he doesn't do that. And to be fair, like JJ is he knows what he's doing, and his vindictiveness against Spider-Man is more of his low self-esteem to a degree, where he's like, yeah, Spider-Man's doing something I can't, therefore I feel jealous of him, and I feel insignificant compared to him, who's actually making a difference. Like, there's been multiple instances where they've shown that some of it is motivated by Spider-Man getting accolades where like his son is not as much and stuff like that, So there are real emotions behind it, but still doesn't stop him from being, a dick. But yeah, that's just kind of what happens. Is you rather than blame the actual cause, you will blame whoever's available, whoever you feel like you can blame, without getting like punished or, So it's just misguided resentment. You're like, well, I can't blame the military, who are the actual cause with their fucked up Iron Order. So I'm going to blame. It's like I'm going to blame the reason. Like I'm going to blame it's the cause of why they defied their logic course. It's like, what? That's fucking stupid. But yeah, it's just what happened. It's not just this story. Lots of stories do it. There's misguided resentment where victims will blame other victims, or victims will blame the thing that helped them because it's something they can blame. Like I've seen like hero stories where like the hero shows up, defeats the like monsters are attacking a village, a hero shows up, defeats the monsters, and the villagers blame the hero for not arriving sooner. So because there are deaths, because the monsters killed some people, they blame the hero. Oh, why weren't you here faster? If you were here faster, we would have had no deaths. It's like, I'm sorry, what? You were attacked by monsters. It's not my responsibility to save you. The fact that I even came to save you at all is a blessing for you. And rather than, be grateful that the hero saved your village, you insult him for not saving it enough, right? And it's just like, yeah, it's because they can't blame the monsters because they're monsters. You can't. They're a force of nature. So you blame whoever you can feel like you blame, and the reason you blame it like a hero or whatever like that is because you feel they won't they won't kill you. So you're like, yeah, it's just a way to vent your frustrations, which of course is just a fucked up thing to do to the people who saved you, right? But yeah, it's human nature. That's why while I might complain about other, games and stories saying, well, this is logically inconsistent. The way she's behaving isn't logically inconsistent. This is just how humans behave. Now, what is logically inconsistent is that the military, after she turns herself in, would give her an outside visit. Like, what? What? It's like, you go to the police arrest you, or you turn yourself into the police, and we're like, hey, police, before you send me to jail, can I go, like, visit a few people? And they're like, yeah, sure. Go ahead. It's like, no, that would not fucking happen. If you turn yourself in, you're in jail. You don't get to fucking go, unless it's like bail or something. But even then, that's a process, you know? And so it's like, and this is the military, so she has no, I mean, it could be that there are some guards outside, that she was escorted here, and there are military guards just outside this tent, perhaps.
ビッグシードにあったら今の言葉をこんなにたくさんの人が余計なことは言わないでちょうだい。プロ騎士君、この座標は11年前に記録されたもでも僕はもう任せて、お兄ちゃんにすぐ連絡するよ。
やあリン、ずいぶん
正解。11年前に記録された。
もちろん。
はい、助手2号過去数年分のデータを照合分析しました。ビッグシード、一人で行くのは危ないからやめた方が。分かってるよ。まだ草ジュースも。
Seed, I don't think you should go alone. You should bring me. You know, the person who has no fighting experience. You, the person with tons of fighting experience, is not safe. But if we add a civilian with no fighting experience, you will be much safer. Wait, why would I go to the Sweden temple? God damn it! So fuck. It's so annoying. I wanted to talk. I thought the picture was I thought the picture would be the trigger. I didn't realize that it was the random fucking box that would trigger the next part of it. God damn it! Because I wanted to see, because the picture was different, so I wanted to see what that was discussion. But I was like, well, I don't want to do this and trigger the next thing, because that was like the only thing that actually looked different. Because everything else was just the same little, oh yeah, interact with the exact same object you did before. And also last time it was like you had to interact with all of them before you could then interact with Seed again and continue. So I thought it would be something like that, but they're like, nope, sorry. You interacted with the correct thing of 3? Well, fuck you, you're not going to be able to interact with the other 2 now. Who knows what dialogue there might have been. I mean, the dumb thing is the intelligence constructs are fine, right? The problem is what they like. That's the weird thing. Is what the problem is what they want is not intelligent constructs. They just want robots. Well, it's like, well, why make intelligence constructs? Because like they're like, oh well, we'll make an intelligence construct and then like chain it up so it's enslaved. It's like, well, then just make a robot at that point. Like. Intelligence constructs are fine. Like, having big machines like that would definitely be useful. Make it like, and just make sure they have their human rights. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, oh, well, all soldiers are actually enslaved, so we do it for the machines too. But it's like, well, no, like, you have human volunteers. Why can't you just do intelligence constructs that are free? Like, why can't you just treat your intelligence construct with the human rights that they should have according to law? Like, just treat them like any other soldier. Like, I understand why they might think, well, we're the ones creating them, therefore we should have more decisions, but it's like, just like, I don't know, like, I've seen like stories too with like medieval times or like isekai stuff where they like go in and like slaves are treated horribly, and I'm just like, why? Like, you treat the slave horribly, it dies prematurely because you treat it like shit, and then you have to buy a new slave. It's like, why don't you just treat them well, you know? Like, just treat them well, they'll work hard. You know, if you treat them well, they'll be the most efficient they can be. You know, obviously if they're working against their will, they won't be super efficient because they don't want to be. But if you treat them decently, like, treating them decently will mean they'll last longer and you'll get more work out of them. And like the actual like additional cost, because like you'd be like, oh, I'll starve my slave, I won't give them clothes or whatever, so they'll be poorly clothed, poor hygiene, and starving. It's like the additional cost of like getting them some reasonable clothes and food. It's like, sure, it might cost a little more every, you know, day by day, but like that cost is much less than just buying a new one when you work this one to death, you know, and they'll just work more efficiently. So like, yeah, so I've always thought that was stupid. And that's basically kind of what the military is trying to do. They're just trying to create slaves. And it's just like, well, why can't you just, you know, create intelligence contracts without enslaving them, right? Like, how hard is that? Because having a robot battalion would actually be pretty useful, you know? Because you can design their bodies to be big and strong. Like, Seed is much bigger than like the average person, so it's like having a battalion of those would be really helpful. And like, and the only thing you have to do is just not enslave them. It's like, is it that fucking hard? Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. So this is how it's still more. Right? No, cannot. Okay. I was wondering if I could swap in my Seed and my trigger. I can't. Okay, so yeah, like I've always thought that was kind of stupid. It's just inefficient. Like, not even about like morality, because obviously, like, if you're talking about another world that has slaves, well, we view slaves as immoral, whatever. But like, just if you can take the emotions out of it and just think of a world that does have it, where it is legal, you know, where it is the norm, as it were, you know. Because like that's the whole like that's how like the whole isekai stories end up. It's like, oh yeah, some person from our world goes over to their world, gets a slave because he needs assistance, and then treats them well, and that's like a surprise for them. It's like, yeah, in a world where all slaves are treated like shit, but it's like, it's so weird that slaves would be treated like shit, right? Where it's like, if you treat them like shit, they're just not going to work as hard. So it's just like, it doesn't make any sense to do so, unless you're just like a fucked up person, right? Like, and obviously there's going to be weirdos like that all over the place. So sure, there is that to some degree, but like, it makes no sense that that's how like it's like considered the norm in like these isekai stories. It's like, oh, he's not treating them like shit. Wow, they're so surprised. And I do get kind of like what military is trying to do, because they want consistent results, right? If they enslave the machines, they won't act out and behave normally. But it just doesn't make any sense, considering the fact that, like, they have human rights. Like, it's one thing if it's like, oh yeah, they haven't talked to enough people. You know, if they hadn't talked to a lot of people, God damn it, I used up my charge. That is one kind of shitty thing, is that it takes her a while to build her gauge, and even when all enemies are dead, she can still use that gauge up to attack nothing. And I kind of wish she just would not do it when there's no active targets on the field. Now, obviously, it's my fault. I shouldn't be pushing the buttons, but it would be nice if there was some sort of idiot protection.
オルベちゃん、ディフェンス。
Yeah, her energy costs are so insane. Like, because she needs to do her. I'm pretty sure to give the buff to both sides, like to give the buff to Orphe, she needs to do that special. And even though the cooldown is pretty long, it's like 40 seconds, but the problem is you can't get it started in the beginning of the fight because the energy cost is so high. So you have to be in a fight that already
11号らしいね。
シード。任務が終わったらみんなで激辛ラーメン。
黒騎士くん、休憩する？
and I
みんな
I won't fuck myself over if as long as I do
大丈夫じゃない？
as long as I don't keep pressing
言うの
square.
が恥ずかしい。
But that's the thing, is that when you're fighting a ton of enemies and you don't see them all, you might think, oh, well, I'll just keep attacking. Because you'll auto-target the next one. So even if they're not in sight, you think, oh, I'll just go after the next one. But when there's none, you can still waste your gauge going after, you know. You can still waste your gauge going after nothing because you thought there might have been something, but there wasn't.
隊長、
So you either have to like stop attacking once it's done, so you don't accidentally waste your gauge. But then you could get hit by something you weren't paying attention to because there actually were enemies still alive. So yeah,
あのノックノックのメッセージが
that's why I kind of wish it was idiot proof and that you just couldn't. You just wouldn't use your gauge unless there was an actual target.
それで
本当に知らないまま来たのでありますか？自分たちはこれよりシードと共に旧友を探しに。
それは
Wait, that's a weird thing. Wait. You think his intelligence, his AI is in the hollow? Like, wouldn't it make more sense if it was on the phone or on the internet? Like, why would you think it's in the hollow? Like, I mean, it could be that there is some sort of device, you know. Maybe some remnant of him exists in the hollow, and that's what's making these calls. But like, wouldn't the phone be the obvious thing? The thing that he had on his person the entire time, and he used constantly. Wouldn't it make far more sense if he had just a portion of his consciousness existed in that?
シードから何度も聞いているわ。シードが浮かない顔をしているとき。待て。どうかした？この間軍の物資がだからあの共有スペースにあったスマートフォンを使ってみたの。
Oh, okay. So it was her. Got it. Okay. Never mind then. See, I thought that maybe that was happening because no one mentioned it at all. And we were talking to, and it was only ever Orphe, Magus, and Trigger who were talking to us initially. Soldier 11 was never there. So that explains why she was never there, because if they brought it up, she would have said, oh no, that was me.
そう。今回誰かを恋しく思う気持ちはわかるわ。ビッグシードにメッセージを打つシードを初めて見た時のあの期待に満ちた眼差しを。
やっぱり君だって。やば。
It's also like super weird, right? Because like Soldier 11 has an incredibly distinctive talking style. Like, of all the people in the Opal Squad besides Seed herself, Soldier 11 seems like the person who's the worst at lying and the worst at acting. So how the hell would Seed not have noticed, right? Yeah, exactly.
文面が彼らしくないって前にも言ったでしょ。それでも旅に出た以上は真相を突きと答えも大事だけど。
Although I do find it a little weird is that like Magus and Trigger both said, oh yeah, no one's used Seed's phone. It's like, well, yes they have. So what the fuck are you talking about? We clearly have someone using Seed's phone. So how did you not know that?
クライス4。
ラジャー。ほころびが見える。
まだまだ。こけるなよ、アルテス。
You know, so it's like, because presumably the idea is that you
遅いですね。備えてください。制圧する後期。
シード行動登場。ビッグシード全速力。
敵は
yeah,
疲弊
that's
してい
kind
ま
of
す。
annoying where it's a bunch of attacks you have to. Oh, yeah, have a banger. That's why.
踏んじゃうよ。
Boom, yay, clear with seed. Nice photo finish. But yeah, enemies that do stuff like that, where it's constantly constant dodgeable attacks, that's what kind of gets rough about
座
these
標のそばに
fights,
裂け目があるみたい。
is that some enemies you can parry, right? Which is fine,
そこが
because
目的地の
parrying
はずだよ。
allows you to swap characters, brings in some nice attacks. But the ones like that, they're just like, oh, I'm going to do a dodgeable attack, now a dodgeable attack, now a dodgeable attack, and then finally after like 5 attacks you can only dodge counter, they come in with the, oh yeah, here's the parryable attack, which is like, those are rough. Because basically you have to like know their patterns very, very well, right? And you're not given much time too. So it's like, so it's pretty much you're going to fuck up. Either A, you just dodge counter everything until you, while like figuring out their attacks, and then once you've dodge countered everything, then determine where the actual parries are and parry them then. But like where so many other enemies are more parries than dodges, when you get an enemy like that, that's like 90% dodges and 1% parry, it gets really kind of rough. Because you're just used to doing parries. You're used to the orange flash for the parry. So when a boss just does mostly stuff you can only dodge counter, it throws you for a loop. You're like, oh, surely the next one will be a dodge counter. Nope, dodge. Like, surely the next one will be parry. Nope, dodge. Dodge counter. So it's kind of annoying.
座標のねえみんな。
It's just because it makes it difficult in the beginning because you just don't know their mechanics, and they're not like their style is just so different than everything else. Like realistically, once you see that they're doing so many dodges or so many red flashes, you just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to dodge counter everything, and then wait for and then if I get lucky and can react in time, parry the one I see. But like that's what would happen. It was like an enemy that does like so many dodge counterable attacks. Eventually, you just stop fucking parrying because you have to react in time. You are just dodge countering, or your hands are on the dodge button for that, but they're not ready for the parry, which is just kind of annoying. I kind of wish they would keep it more split, where it's like half of them, or maybe a little bit more of a wind up for the parries. Like I'm fine for the dodge counters being a little less forgiving. So it's like, okay, they're faster and stuff like that, but it's just that when this game kind of like, its main gimmick is around these parries, you know? It's all the attacks they do, plus the parries is the kind of the big thing. So when you have an enemy that like throws you for a loop, especially a boss like that, where it's like, nope, this is mostly dodges, it just kind of can fuck you over.
理由を聞いてもいいです。
多分だけど僕は
微妙に一周しづらい理由。
Are we gonna go? Although I'm pretty sure I saw that Mihoyo posted the cutscene, I believe, of this upcoming scene.
わかりました。後で激辛ラーメンよ。
I didn't watch it because I'm like, I don't want to spoil myself.
待ってるから帰ってきてね。たまにはいいよね。霧が濃いね。何にも見えないや。
It's also a little weird. Where it's like, oh, this is the place. It's like, yeah, but we fought ethereals all the way over here. How do we know this place is safe? You know? Shouldn't we at least go through the fissure so if something goes wrong with her, we could hear and rush to her aid? But like, if an ethereal attacks her all of a sudden, like, we would not even hear it because we're a fissure away.
いいや。もっと楽しいこと話そう。僕、背が伸びたんだ。一人でいっぱい任務をこなして、新しい仲間もできて、そうだ、同類を見つけたよ。 黒騎士くんは面白い。君は言ったよね。人生は輪っ
Yeah,
か
so I guess actually now that I think about it,
でも
she's calling Proxy her people. It could be because of our affinity with machinery, right? Like, so we have the eyes that allow us to like go into Eos. It could be that we have some sort of like technomancy abilities, which she clearly has, because she's able to like trigger machines to explode when her emotions run high, and presumably intentionally too.
君が止まってる
Yeah, this is where she was found.
僕の方が早い。だからきっ
I don't want to と
と
go in there. I'll wait for her dialogue to finish.
君に追いつけると思う。
Which is a little
そ
stupid.
の
Like,
時になったら
why would you have this much of dialogue when you force us to be to walk at a certain pace? Like, if
すご
you
く会いたか
have
った
us walk
よ
even slower, basically, the idea is that if you have a bunch of lines for her to say, you want to time it so that when the player starts moving to when the player reaches the next story point, that's exactly as much time as you need. And I'm thinking the second I go into this threshold, oh, okay, never mind. Never mind, if it's an interactable, that's fine. Because I can just choose not to interact with it. I was worried that the second I passed through that spot, that it would instantly start that it would instantly start. But if it is an interactable, that's fine. You can have it take as long as you want, because people can just wait until it's done before interacting with it.
ビッグシード聞こえる？守ったよ。鬼火隊長とベロニカ先生に認められたの。僕強くなったよ。もう一人前だ。ほら背だって伸びた。ね、フォローに生えてるってお花より高いでしょ。あ、ビッグシード。なんで帰ってこないの？約束してたじゃん。
特殊な生体反応を検知。眼パイロット認証完了。バイタルシンク 100%。これよりシードの最後のメッセージを
What?
送信します。
Why didn't you just animate that? Like, oh, Seed whirs to life on its own, and then like and moves. It's like you literally just animated like those 30 seconds. Couldn't you just animated 10 more seconds?
最後の
You know, couldn't you have just animated like 10 more seconds then? Like,
すまないし、何も言わずにお前の元を去ったこと許してくれ。だからこそオボルス正体の他のメンバーをみんながお前に嘘をついていたこと、どうか責めないでほしい。シード背も随分とのもしコックピットが窮屈になってきたなら、そういえば前に預けた鉢植えの花はどうだ。俺もお前と出会った頃そうでなかったとしても、正直なところこのメッセージがいつお前に届くかはわからない。涙は悲しみ、その瞬間お前はきっと心から涙を流すことができているはず。そう思うと自分の死とも穏やかに死に関する本をたくさん読んだ。逃れられないと分かっても本には様々なことが書いてあった。だが本にあった言葉の中で命というのはまさに巡る輪のようだと思う。それもとてつもなく大きい輪だ。俺残念ながら俺の旅はここまでだ。だがお前は歩き続ける。だがいいんだ。何もかもが終わるわけじゃない。 出会ったその日から俺はお前の足跡俺が立ち止まった時お前に種を託しておいた。いつかお前がこの果てしない輪を踏破しまた始まりの場所に。さて俺はこの輪の上で眠る。
ビッグシード。
悲しまなくていい。お前は新しい心を手に入れた。それはおやすみ。
お花と
That was nice.
こ
Very
の文字
emotional.
知ってる？ヘリオス。
Actually, how the hell does she fit in this thing? Like, she would fit if it was like a perfect suit. Like, she could fit her arm, her legs into the legs. Like, if this was like armor, I could see it fitting her, right? Like, she just put her arms through the armholes and then legs through the leg holes. But like, that's not how it was. It was just a cockpit that she gets in the back and rides around purely in the chest cavity. But she's way too big for that. And I think even when she's doing her animations, I think Seed's bigger than that. So I don't know why they'd shrink him down for this part. That does make sense though why she said he was getting too cramped. Because Jesus, I don't even understand how she works like this. But yeah, I think in the animation, like when you hold your EX special, I think Seed appears bigger than he just does there. Damn it. So now that really pisses me off because it's like, god damn it, like now the frame actually has a different picture again. So I missed whatever dialogue that might have been part of the depressing picture that she made. The picture with her and no Seed. That kind of sucks. And the reason why I think that's bad game design is because the previous time we were told to interact with objects in this area, we had to interact with all three before we could then talk to Seed and progress the quest. And so in a identical situation where we have to interact with potentially three objects, instead of doing it the way you did before, which you let players know, oh, don't worry, this is how it is. You're like, oh yeah, that's how it was. We're just going to be completely different this time. And fuck you, because if you click the wrong thing and progress the story, you're fucked. You can't go back and interact with anything. Although, to be fair, I think I can just redo this quest. Like this is a repeatable quest. I could just beat the quest, start it over again, rush to this part, interact with the frame, and then just quit. So I could do that if I felt like it. Yeah, and like that, like I interact with the thing, and rather than forcing me into a conversation with Seed, they give me the option to talk to people and interact with things. It's like, why would you? So basically, you have one part where you do this, and you have another part where you also do that, and then in the middle, more important one, you rush it and force the progress. It's like, basically, if you're designing a game, be consistent, right? If you're designing a game and you have stories progress in a certain way, try to have them progress in the same way each time. Don't change the mechanics for shit like this, because when you change it, because basically what you're doing is you're kind of training players how to play your game. You're like, here's how we do things. We do things in this way, in this way, in this way. Like, and for the quest part 1, it was like you interact with 3 objects. There's no problem too. Like no matter which object you interact with, it's fine. There's no penalty essentially. There's no, whoops, you touched this first? Okay, well, we're going to just, you've missed out on quest. It's like, no, it's you do all things. So realistically, you shouldn't kind of, when giving player options to interact with multiple things, you shouldn't have any one of them progress the main story quest. Because if you, what happens if you want to interact with all of them, but you accidentally chose the one that progresses the quest, and now you can't no longer interact with. Now you're having less fun, and you're missing out on potential story little bits. So it's like, yeah, if you have multiple things, you should have to interact with all of them. Or, interacting with that box, triggering the story would have been fine if you had to then talk to Seed afterwards, right? If it was like, oh, you interact with the box, and then she could have said, oh, we're waiting for someone. And then, they could have had her standing next to us, and if we interact with her again, we would continue the quest, or we could go back to the other objects and interact with them at that point, right? Like, that's the way you do it. Don't program in a continuation that gives you no warning that it's going to continue when you're given multiple options. Because it just feels bad, You feel like you're missing out. You feel like you missed something.
これがビッグシードが絞って草じゅだってそういえばちょっとだけ思い出したんだ僕がどこから来たのか
Oh, I see. So was she in the academy with us?
僕も
Yeah, okay.
あの場所のことごめんね名前しか覚えてないんだ
So it's interesting then. So maybe Helios Academy. So Helios Academy is probably experimenting on children, hopefully not inhumanely. But it could be that I don't know. Either they gathered a bunch of children with powers to kind of like Xavier's School for the Gifted. It could have been like that, where it's like, oh, you have powers. We're going to take you here to this place where we can help teach you how to use them properly. It could have been that. It also could have been that they were creating people with powers using the ether or something like that. Or maybe a mix of the both. Maybe like Carol, our teacher, was a nice person. And maybe even Seed had a nice teacher, but maybe there was some unscrupulous types. And I believe it was one of the unscrupulous types that caused the Hollow Zero disaster within Helios. I think there was probably some unscrupulous douche who was probably like an assistant to Carol. And that's why Carol took the fall, is because it was probably an experiment she was doing, but one of the unscrupulous assistants screwed things up and caused the catastrophe. That's my guess.
Big Seed のものです。これを悪意あるものに利用されることがあっては。わかった。シード。
もちろん。
I mean, why don't you just destroy it? Like, he's not using it. It is a military phone at the end of the day. So there could be some sensitive information on it. Like, it'd be safer just to destroy it.
掃除はしていますよ。寮に戻ってくるんですね。ちょっと待ってください。もう少し。
みんなせっかちだな。待って。これ直せたりする？何も。もちろん任せといて。よし、これでバッチリ。プロ騎士君。
誰にも言わないから安心して。
Okay, I mean, that's what I thought. I thought that would be an epilogue quest. Surprised there was combat. I thought it was just, go to the location. I mean, I guess I knew it was going to be in the Hollow anyway, so I guess I could have expected that. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I did like it. It is another event. What the fuck is this? Wait, 5 Rowan. Who's Rowan? What is this for? Okay, cool. But yeah, so I generally liked the quest. As I said, like there were definitely some issues with it. I'd say just quest continuation consistency issues. It's like, come on, if you're going to have the quest progress in one way in Act 1, have it progress the same way in all acts, you know? You have to interact with all interactable objects for continuing the quest. Or, like Genshin also doesn't do, warn people when something is about to happen, right? Give them the option. And as I said, like the fix for it was easy. Well, one, you either just do it the exact same way as you did before, you know, have to interact with all 3 objects before then you can go up to Seed. Or if you want to make those boxes that important and have it trigger stuff, you literally even had a stopping point for the quest itself. You had the stopping point. The stopping point was, oh, we're still waiting for one more person for the plant juice mix or whatever, and that's when Veronica showed up. You could have just had Veronica not show up right then and there. You could have just had her end with that. Seed stands there, right next to the boxes, where we can interact with her to then continue, right? Like, super, super easy, right? Why force you along? I thought the picture was it because it changed. I'm like, oh, it's the only thing that had changed in the entire fucking place. You'd think that would elicit some sort of reaction, but no. For some reason, you had the thing that looks identical to how it always looked somehow trigger the quest continuation. Now, maybe no matter what I picked, it would still continue the quest, right? Like maybe each one would, no matter which one, would cause her to freak out and, you know, summon Veronica. Maybe, you know. But obviously we don't know that. So I regret not picking the photo first, which is annoying. So yeah, like I think, you know, that's bad programming. That's a bad game design decision. Like you shouldn't do that. Like if you've already, especially this is how they did this quest. It's not even like, oh, well, other quests can be different. It's like, well, yeah, but like this is part of the same story. Act 1 of this quest series did it like this. Why didn't you do it the same way, right? And then even later, where it was like, oh, here you can interact with more stuff. You know, it was like, yeah, you interact with the stuff, and then you interact with Seed to continue. It's like, so Act 1 and 3 had the same type of format of interact with the objects, then interact with Seed to progress the story. But this was like, they just randomly threw in interact with one of the if you interact with one object, it'll trigger Seed to force you to continue the story without any choice of going back and interacting with the other stuff. It's like, why? But otherwise, good story. I liked it. It was enjoyable. I think some of the complaints I had about, you know, some of the complaints were just like, well, okay, so the only real complaints I had were obviously that, because the forced progression after interacting with the boxes, that was weird. Didn't really make sense. And then jail time. The fact that we found the Hollow Zero. We found the Hollow Raiders in the Hollow, and for some reason they didn't get arrested. Like, we look for him a few days later and he's out in the streets. It's like, I'm sorry, but like, you are a career criminal. There's no way in hell the police would have just let you go this quickly. Like, maybe if it was the first time, they might be like, be careful if you like lied well enough. But like, by his own admission, he's a career criminal and he's been arrested multiple times. So how would the cops have been like, let him go, right? It makes no fucking sense. Same for Veronica, and the same, she turned herself in, but the military lets her go out once. Like, what? Like, that's not how jail works. That's not how being arrested works. That's how court-martialing works. The military would in no way in hell let someone who admits to a crime and a court-martialable offense go for a vacation before, you know, going to jail. It's like, no way in hell. Unless they were like super powerful, but it's like she's just a random fucking doctor, right? So like, there's no way she has the sway to do that. So it's like, those don't make sense. But obviously, in the grand scheme of things, does it matter? No. The reason why the Hollow Zero guy wasn't arrested is because we needed to use him to find Veronica later. The reason why Veronica wasn't arrested was so that she can have a heart-to-heart with Seed and she basically choose to forgive her or choose to accept it. But as I said, like, it's one of the things it's one of my pet peeves about stories where they write inconsistencies into the story to have the story progress, right? Where they're like, yeah, oh, she gets one more outing. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. But they wanted to have this, and sure, like, is the emotional impact more? Fine. And again, like, as I said, what you could have had is had her being escorted by military. But yeah, so dumb. Like, they could have had military. She could have been like escorted by 2 like military guards, and they're like, they allowed me to come, and then like being escorted. So it's like, clearly she's not free, right? She was escorted there by military, but they didn't show that at all or indicate it in any way. And the Hollerator, there's just no excuse. Like there, it's not like it's not like the police would like hover around him, you know, and be like, oh yeah, we let him go, but we're just keeping an eye on him. It's like, no, police wouldn't do that. Military might escort them around just to make sure they don't escape or whatever, but yeah. So these things don't make sense, but like, yeah, I understand why they did it, but it would have been nice if they had written it in a way that you just wouldn't have to have these weird inconsistencies. But anyway, otherwise, overall, great story. Really liked it. Very emotional. That ending was pretty impactful. I think it was silly. They had this cutscene, which was relatively short. It was not even a full minute. Well, maybe it was a minute. But like, it had a really short cutscene, and then they were like, and Seed awakens because of the tears. You know, picks her up and does all this stuff. It's like, you were literally just animating it. Like, I would understand if it was in-game cutscene, which obviously is like limited what you can do in game. So it's like, yeah, sure. So he's like, well, yeah, like you'd have to like animate the skeleton and all that stuff to be able to pull off something like that. Sure, I understand them not doing it if it was that. Like for Honkai Star Rail, where it's like, yeah, the range of motion that the character models have is not great, so I get that. But like, no, you were animating it. You could have literally done whatever the fuck you wanted because it's animated. So why didn't you just animate it for 10 more seconds to have him do that, have him pick her up, so that it would match the cutscene, like that matched the screenshot? Because the screenshot was like had her picked up with the thumbs up. Like, you could have just animated that, the Seed picking her up and motioning the thumbs up, and then cut to the black screen saying, oh, and Seed's message plays, right? Ideally, obviously, you'd want to also voice it. You would just have it in the cutscene and have it just voiced. But, yeah, so that was a weird, like, where you're like, you animate it, and then give a whole long thing of how additional motion happens, and it's like, why didn't you just animate that too? Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.